So today I really wanted to kind of bring different ways you can think about how to get into the space business, because definitely this is going to become $1 trillion business before we know it. It's already about $500 million business. And yet, it doesn't have all the talents required. It's still very much skewed towards specific aspect of the space business. And pretty much millionaire or billionaire or the people who are very closely associated with them or the government seem to be only the ones that are able to participate. And it cannot be, first of all, it should not be, and it cannot be stay this way if space is just going to become just extension of Earth, so to speak. And just because, and some of you might be wondering why try to solve the space problems when we have plenty issues to solve here on the here on the Earth. I'm not going to go into my space company that I have called Celestial Data just yet, but I will say this. There are a lot of problems that we can solve that are on the Earth, that we can actually get the data out of the space. And so for that, it's almost a continuous economy. It's just that orbit is sitting in between us, but as an extension to Earth business, which we can take a lot of information out of or utilize, we really need to understand, at least if you're interested, if you're curious, we need to understand what different ways we can participate in the space business. And then that's why when I got this slot this time around, I thought I wanted to kind of talk about this business with you. So I will go to the next slide, the main part of the presentation. So for today, the topics to cover is very, very simple and very straightforward, because as I said, the aim of today's presentation is to introduce you to the how, what we might be able to get involved if we are into space, if we want to get into space business, but not quite an astronaut or anything like that, right? So I'm going to touch upon what is new space race, because this is how any individuals like us and not government or the country began to be involved in the space business. And overall economics of space industry. This is very important for us to actually see the number, what the breakdown looks like today. And then a number of different areas where you might consider getting involved if you're interested. How could we get involved? By all means, this presentation is not meant to be very thorough, so that just by listening to today's presentation, you're going to be able to go from where you are into the space business overnight. But it definitely will give you some thoughts, and I'm happy to hear from you afterwards if you're interested in getting involved. So what is new space race? I think you probably have heard some phrase like new space race is on, the space race, things like that, right? So let's talk about, if there's a new space race, then there's an original one, or there's the first one. So what was that original one? The original one being back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, when it was really, the space business was still at the country level led by the government, and US and Soviet Union, back then it was Soviet Union, right? Were battling who sends what first to the moon. So if somebody sends the rocket itself up there first, then who can send a person first, or who can make a moon landing first. The two countries, led by these two countries, the space business was competing on things like that back then. That's the original space race. So what is the new space race? It's really where the private segment has started to come in and seeking for the different types of economic opportunities. This really changed the dynamics of who controls what, from the government segment to the private segment. So I took the two different Time magazine covers. One is the original, the one on the left is the original one where the US and Russia, Soviet Union were trying to race to the moon. Who might get there first, and not just one thing, right? It's just like any other race, any other bet. There are a lot of different things that you can do first, or you can do better than the other one. That's how the things were back in 50s, 60s, 70s. Now, on the right is the new economy, and then if you look closely, one of the company name actually is relatively visible there, SpaceX. So these private money began to come in to the space business, and they are all competing in different areas than just to see who can get there first, but who can actually make money out of the space business. So there are a lot of different companies. Even if you just count the billionaire who are entering the business, the names that are recognizable, or the companies that are recognizable, I said earlier, Blue Origin, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, of course, being one of them. And then there are a number of different other companies that have a space segment, or at least investing into space business one way or another. So the landscape of what kind of participants are in this business changed a lot as our needs for the space have changed over the course of time as well. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. The global space economy, as I was saying on the first page, it just about to hit $500 billion. This is a number from 2020, and we are 3/4 of a way. We are 3/4 of a way in the 2021. We'll see what the number is going to look like, but at the end of this year. But I'm sure the number is going to be much bigger than this. So back in when the original space economy, space race was on, it was pretty much all 100% government. And more than the absolute amount itself, the important thing that's coming out of this chart is that the government segment is only about 10% of the entire spend. Okay, it's gone from almost 100% to only about 10%. The rest is coming from the private segment in one way or another. So the red is, in case you cannot see, because it's a cutout from the website, so the letters are not 100% accurate, but the red part is commercial infrastructure and support industries. Right? I mean, not everybody who's in the space business are making rockets. There are a lot of people that are in the support business, the infrastructure business, and hence the segments do exist in the space business. So the red one being the infrastructure and support industries. The blue one being the commercial space products and services. So this is where the hardware that you're probably more familiar with when it comes to the space business fall under. And the yellow one being the non-US government space budgets. There are private.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.